Good day, grade 11s. I am your tutor for today. I go by the name of Ms. Noktula Zulu. So today we will be looking at the practice and application questions for the topic that says avenues of acquiring a business. Now let's just get into it. The first practice question says, outline the reasons why entrepreneurs may purchase an existing business. Existing employees and managers may have experience they can share. So obviously they would want to purchase an existing business because the employees and managers already have an experience that they would want to share with them when they purchase an existing business. Many business problems have been solved. So obviously an entrepreneur would want to purchase an existing business because already the problems that the business have faced before, they have been solved. So there won't be any problems that the entrepreneur might face which will not have a solution. Market research has already been done and there is an established customer base. So an entrepreneur would want to buy an existing business because already an existing business has done a market research, and since it's known, it has a solid customer base. So that would be the reasons for them to purchase an existing business. Let's move on to the second question. Read the scenario and answer the following question. Faith's clothing manufacturer. Faith's clothing manufacturer produces summer and winter fashionable clothes for teenagers and adults. The management wants to close down the company's IT department, but they do not know who they will contract to assist them with IT services when the need arises in the future. Now, let's look at the question. It says, identify one avenue of acquiring a business from the scenario. So let's go back to the scenario and read again. Faith's clothing manufacturer produces summer and winter fashionable clothes for teenagers and adults. So actually, this statement is telling us what this particular business is actually doing. The management wants to close down the company's IT department, which they do not know who they will contract to assist them with IT services when the need arises in the future. So this underlined statement alone, it tells us that they would want to contract somebody who will assist them with IT rather. So they would want to outsource the services of IT. So obviously the business avenue here would be outsourcing. The question said identify one, so we're not gonna code because it says identify. Now let's move on to the next question. Discuss the positive impact of the business avenue identified in question 2A. Outsourcing allows the business to focus on important business activities rather than support activities. So the advantage of outsourcing is that as a business, we are able to focus on the core functions of running this business of ours rather than focusing on the outsourced services. A business has access to resources and equipment for a specific function. So as a business, we have access, if we have outsourced some of the services, so we have access of equipment of those particular outsourced services without us having to buy them. But because the outsourced company brings their equipment, brings their resources, now as a business, we are able to have access to those resources as well. Will provide continuity during periods of high staff turnover. So outsourcing would assist us because if our employees decide to leave the business, they decide to resign or maybe leave the business, then it simply means that the outsourced services are going to continue operating as usual because it won't be affected by the resignation of our employees in the business. But those services that we have outsourced as a business will continue as normal. Now, let's look at another question. Advise businesses on the contractual implications of outsourcing. The responsibilities and rights of both parties have to be stated or stipulated in the outsourcing agreement. So both the vendor the company who's outsourcing their services and the company who has actually consulted the outsourcing services for their services, they have to write down both their responsibilities and write in the outsourcing agreement so that each party understands what is expected of them through this agreement. The length or duration of the contract. So it also has to be stipulated that we are outsourcing the services of company number B for this particular period of time so that they themselves know that they will offer the services up until they're going to be paid for the services that they're offering up until a certain period of time that we have agreed upon. Confidentiality clause to protect privileged information. So in the outsourcing agreement, it has to be stated the confidentiality clause has to be there so that sensitive information from the business has to be protected. It cannot be taken or even used by the company that we have outsourced services of. And let us just go for a quick ad break and we will be back. Stay tuned.